Hello friends, today I am going to start with the classical ciphers. So before going into examples of classical cipher, I would like to tell you more about why we call it a classical cipher. So classical ciphers are those ciphers which were used in the early days of cryptography, and all the classical ciphers are already broken, and some you can break with your hand itself. You don't need any machine to break these ciphers. So these ciphers are not used in today's world. That's why we call it a classical cipher. Now there are many classical cipher, some of which are Caesar cipher, substitution cipher, Wigner cipher, Hill cipher, and many more. We will go through them one by one. In this video, I am going to talk about Caesar cipher. So what happened in Caesar cipher is that you take the plain text and you increment the alphabet with some other alphabet. So here you can see in this example which I am showing on the screen that I have taken n equal to 3. N equal to 3 means a will be increased by 3 alphabet. So a will become d, and I'm starting with 0 because in any cipher the alphabet starts with 0. You will see why. Okay, I will tell about that also, why we are starting with 0. So for n equal to 3, a will be increased by 3, that is 2d. So a's value is 0. If you add 3 to 0, it will become 3, that is d. So a will be shifted to d. This is in this Caesar cipher, n is constant for every plaintext to be encrypted. So if n equal to 3, then I have to make a table like that a will be uh, shifted to or encrypted to d, b will be encrypted to e, c will be encrypted to f, and such that every alphabet will be increased by 3 to become the ciphertext. So this is the basic principle of the Caesar cipher. So let's see example to how to encrypt a plain text and how to decrypt a ciphertext. So let me take a word here, or maybe a sentence. That, let's say this month is September. Okay, and I want to encrypt this ciphertext in this plain text and create a ciphertext for this. So what I will do is I will just see the table, and T is encrypted to W. Here we can see that T is encrypted to W. So T will become W, H will become K, I will become is I will become L, and S will become V. Okay, so you are getting idea how I am encrypting this. We can say this one is my plain text and this is my ciphertext. Let me complete the sentence. So M is P, or N is Q, T is W, and H is K. Then I is L, S is V, S is V, E is H, P is S, T is W, E is H, M is P, B is E, and E is H, and last R is U. So this is the new ciphertext. Okay, let me write it down. This one is my plain text, and this one is my ciphertext. Okay, so you got an idea that how we are uh, encrypting this plain text to ciphertext, and here I will write that my n is equal to 3. Okay, so this was the part of encryption. Now let's talk about decryption, how to decrypt it. Okay, so one of the method is just to see this table and decrypt it. So let's try few. So now my ciphertext is this, and I want to uh, decrypt it to plain text, right? So W will become, now we have to see just opposite. Initially from plain to text to ciphertext we were looking like T was here and that encrypted to W. Now when decrypting this ciphertext to plain text, we have to see like what what was the alphabet that was encrypted to W. So we have to see in this right part of the table and match the alphabet from ciphertext and get the alphabet from the left part of the table, that for what ciphertext, what plaintext this W came. So here W came for T. So here I will write as T. Then K. So K is here. K came for H. So H. Then there is L. So L came for I. So this is I. And this is V. So V came for S. So this is S. So here we understood that how we are converting back the ciphertext to plain text. This is the one way of solving it. The other way is that we know what is n. N is equal to 3, right? So what we will do is we will get the value of this ciphertext alphabet and we will reduce 3 from it and take modulo 26. So again I will teach you how to take modulo 26 and why we are doing it. So let's say we have uh, p here, right? So for p the numeric value is 15, right? So I will take 15 and I will reduce 3 from it. I will take modulo 26. Modulo 26, modulo means the remainder when you divide that with 26. Okay, remainder. Modulo is nothing but just remainder. Okay, so 15 minus 3 is 12, right? 12 and mod 26. So if you divide 12 by 26, you will get 12 as the remainder. So it will remain 12 only. Okay, so now we got that the plain text was 12. So I will see in the table what is the 12th one. So 12th alphabet is M. So this will become P will become M, right? Similarly, second ciphertext alphabet is R. So R is 17. So I will take 17 minus 3 mod 26. Okay, so it is 14, right? Okay, so it is 14 mod 26, we can write. So what is the alphabet as number 14? So alphabet at number 14 is O, right? So it will, R will become O. So you got the point, why we are doing this and how we are decrypting that ciphertext. Okay, so now I will tell you why we are taking this mod 26 value. So let's say I have to encrypt, not decrypt, or let's say my plain text is let's say XYZ. Okay, so one of the method of encryption is you will take the value of X, that is 23, 23, and you will add 3, and you have to take mod 26, right? So it will become 26 mod 26, right? So 26 mod 26 is not nothing but 0 mod 26, because if you divide 26 by 26, the quotient is 1 but the remainder is 0. So we got a value 0 which is equal to a, right? A is equal to 0. So X will be converted to a, right? This is my ciphertext. Similarly for y's numeric value is 24. So 24 plus 3 mod 26 is equal to 27, sorry, mod 26, which is congruent to 1 mod 26, right? So 1 is the numeric value for b, so y will become b, right? You can verify that from this table also. X is equal to a and y is equal to b. Similarly, when you calculate for z, z will become c. So this is the reason we have to take modulo 26, so that it will go into a loop. Means after the ciphertext is uh, ending, means you are getting a z, then after that the next value will be a, not something else, right? So that is solved by modulo operation. So this is basically what we do in case of a Caesar cipher. It's a very simple cipher, and you saw that we can solve this by our hand only. You don't have to use any computer or large CPU to solve this. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you very much. See you in the next lecture.